Good evening, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I hope it's good. So today, I'm gonna teach you guys how to strop. As many of you guys know, I own a strop making business. It's not just strops, it's all sorts of crafts and woodworking that I enjoy doing. But it's mostly strops because I love knife making, I love the knife community, and I love you guys, and I want you guys to have sharp, durable, awesome knives that you can love and cherish and beat on just like I do with mine. So today, it's gonna be the technique, showing you guys how to strop, and I'm gonna make it really simple and really easy for anyone to follow. Stropping's not hard at all, and I'm gonna teach you how to do it. So like I said, guys, stropping is not hard. Anyone can learn how to do it. You have a strop and you have a knife. Now, a strop is just a piece of leather. Can be strapped down to a base, but it can be something as simple as a piece of leather with some compound attached to it. Does not matter. Now you have rough side and smooth side. So you have something like this. Rough side, which is also called flesh side. Smooth side, which is called grain side. I personally enjoy rough side. I'm moving all of my strops to where both sides will be rough side. It works well with wax compounds, paste compounds, or diamond spray emulsions and stuff like that. It works great for all of them. It also works great for a bare leather. But these techniques will apply no matter whether you are stropping on a paddle strop, rough leather, smooth leather, you're stropping on a 6-inch field strop like this other one that I make. It does not matter. All the techniques are the same. I will hold the paddle and I put a finger up like this. Also, this is a paddle strop that I make. If you're interested in one of these, find me on Instagram and give me a DM. We'll talk about getting one sent to you. So, you have your strop, you have your knife. First cardinal rule of stropping is you never, ever drag into the strop like you're cutting into it, like a stone. You will cut the strop, you will damage the strop. Don't want to do that. So you never ever do that. And don't scratch your face whenever you're holding a knife like I did. So, other than that, there's no real hard, fast rules about stropping. So, I'm showing you the technique I like to do. What I like to do is I like to set the knife down flat against the strop, like so. I like to raise the knife up until the edge just disappears. Same angle I'm sharpening at. And then with very light pressure, like only the weight of the knife, maybe a little bit more pressure. I'm going to slowly drag it backwards. And as I get towards the tip of that knife, I'm going to curve it up. And then I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to lay it down flat, lift it up till I'm at the angle I sharpened at. Slowly drag it back and lift it up. And like I said, very light pressure. You're not bearing down on this. The leather I use on my strops is very hard and very thick. So it won't convex your edge unless you want it to, unless you add a lot of pressure. So my leather will not convex your edge. So again, lift it up. This is the angle you're sharpening at, and you're drawing it backwards. This is done at the very end of your sharpening process or right after you're done honing your knife. Or it can be used as a standalone method to hone your knife depending on the compound used on the strop. Now, some pointers. It doesn't really matter if you're a little bit too high or a little bit too low. The nap of the leather will flex around with the edge. As long as you're not one way where you're way too high or the other way where you're way too low. As long as you're somewhere in the middle, you're going to be okay. Always dragging backwards. You're never pulling that edge towards you. Or I should say, you're never pushing that edge into the strop. You're always pulling that edge away from the strop. Another hard, fast rule is to, not add too much pressure unless you're purposely convexing your edge. The strop will only remove barely a little bit amount of leather or amount of steel. Barely anything, microscopic levels, depending on the compound you have on it, obviously. But again, this is just for your final step in sharpening. It's not that difficult. Anyone can do it. And I like to hold my strop. You can even say this is a block strop. Act like that handle's cut off. Hold the strop like this. No problem. And as you can see, it doesn't matter. I favor tip to heel, but you can also use heel to tip. Just depends on what you want. So tip to heel, heel to tip. And as you see, I actually mostly move my strop than I do my knife. That's just my sharpening. That's how I sharpen my knife as well. You can even place the strop down on a bench and pull it backwards. But you don't want to do this too much, because if you do, you'll actually smush that apex over, and it'll go from being a nice crisp apex like that, and you'll kind of smush it over. So you don't want to add too much pressure, and you don't want to do this too much. This is normally just my final step in my honing or sharpening process, is finishing on a strop like this. So guys, that was just a real quick stropping tutorial video. I didn't want to make it too long and too tedious, just because it's the basics. Again, you want to hit that angle that you're sharpening at. You don't want to go too high or way too low whenever you're stropping. You want to make sure you're always pulling that edge away. You're never cutting into your strop. And again, this is just your final step in sharpening. I normally never use a strop as a standalone method to touching up my knives. I mostly do it after a honing process. So normally I hit it on the hone, which is my fine DMT stone with very light pressure, and then I'll strop. But all stropping does is it helps those micro serrations at the end of your knife, or the end of your edge, kind of stay in line and work out any imperfections that might have happened coming off the stone and any wire edge left in there. That's it for right now. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.